Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the Black Intelligentsia. We talking with my brother here tonight. He's with us. He's live and direct, right on the Google Hangout. Peace. How you doing, brother?
Man, peace and power, family. How the brother feeling?
I'm good. So, could you tell the people your name, your locale, and give us a little introduction, please, brother?
Great, no problem. I'm brother Shakem. I'm in Hotep Akhet, right here, Charleston, South Carolina. Uh, Representative of the Charleston, South Carolina, or South Carolina RBG community. We represent Pan Africanism. We represent brother and sisterhood, and I'm just highly humbled and honored to be here in your presence, man, and on this show.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming through and everything. So, I've been friends with you a little while on Facebook, and I've been watching your activity and stuff. You was very active in 2015. Can you explain to the people, the activism that you was involved in last year?
Yes, 2015 was very tumultuous. Um, it started off kind of raw and uncut with the Walter Scott scenario. We had Officer Slager kill Walter Scott. As we know, shot him 8 times in the back, planted the taser on the brother on his lifeless body. We had a cover up by the North Charleston Police Department. What ended up happening, there was a young man who recorded the whole video and turned it over, and the activists, we got out, we started grinding, we basically launched protests, we were doing what we can to help and try to assist the Scott family in trying to make, the situation better than what it was. Then we turned around, we had Dylan Roof. He came down to Charleston, as we know, and he killed 9 people in Mother Emanuel Church, downtown Charleston. We took highly offense to that. Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, South Carolina, is known for the Denmark VC rebellion. Denmark VC, that was actually his church. So we saw that attack as being something personal on the black community. Also, Reverend Clementa Pinckney, we worked with him very intimately with the Walter Scott case. Reverend Clementa Pinckney was also a representative, a House representative in South Carolina. He was working on legislation in favor of Walter Scott and the police, in favor of the police wearing body cameras. And then all of a sudden he's assassinated by Dylan Roof. Then you had the Spring Valley incident where the school resource officer came and just attacked the young girl in the classroom, slid her across the floor, slammed her, and just treated her like she was just a wild animal. We had that go on. Then, of course, we had the flood situation and the whole city just underwater, half of the state. Then from there, recently, Officer Slager just got out on a bond for the murder of Walter Scott. So we have been just pummeled in 2015 with issue after issue after issue.
And the struggle continues. So what about 2016? What do you see this year starting off as, and how is it affecting, or the effects of last year, making its way over into this year?
Yeah, and that's kind of like really the hard part, right? Because this year already started off with Officer Slager actually getting bond. We know that all the cop killers have been recently getting off, just basically unscathed. They haven't been getting any really pushback or anything. They've just been beating cases. Then you have the trial, of course, for Dylan Roof coming up. There's going to be a lot of information that comes out that's probably going to have a lot of people kind of really upset and in their feelings. We know that he wrote this lengthy manifesto talking about, a race war, and he just wanted to create an atmosphere of, racial tension. I forgot to mention we had the Klan rally after the situation with Dylan Roof, to kind of appease the people in the state because they sensed that maybe an uprising would be coming. The governor goes and decides, hey, what a great idea. Let's go ahead and take down the Confederate flag. so that maybe we can just kind of brush over the issue. The Confederate flag comes down, but then what happens is the Confederate white battle flag members, they get upset and they just start walking around with Confederate flags and just waving it everywhere. And next thing you know, the loyal white knights of the Ku Klux Klan just come up with a great idea and say, "Hey, we're going to have a Klan rally." So at that time, in no way, shape, or form was we going to allow that to occur. So that's when we just went up to the state capitol to meet the Klan, and the videos speak for themselves. Um, but 2016, unfortunately, it's going to be very active again, and we just got to prepare for it.
You got to forgive me there, brother. A lot of people trying to call in on Skype right now.
Oh, okay,
So
I got you.
for those that don't know, we do have a Skype number if you're listening in and you would like to participate in the Q&A, but we're not having Q&A right now. The phone number to call in, though, and listen, just mute your mic. It's 312. 312-985-7856. So call in, hit mute, and you can listen in. So it's been a lot of stuff going on. So now, who all is participating and helping in the efforts down there with you, brother? I know I've seen a lot of people on pictures and stuff. Could you give people some insight on the people that's participating and helping in this activism, and exactly what they're doing and how much further they're looking to go with you in your efforts?
Well, one thing that I can really say positively in the midst of all of the negativity that has occurred, what has happened subsequently is that it sparked a lot of interest in the people here to actually begin to do something. The city was walking dead, just like a lot of other cities here around the nation. Um, so what ended up happening, you just have the regular, guy on the corner who hangs out now after he sees these events actually occurred. Now he is more inclined to actually get out and do something. So a lot of the activism that we've been receiving has actually been coming from people who have lived in the city for such a long time, but now they see the extent of racism and how it's just openly affecting people, and now they're deciding to step up.
So that's what happened when the struggle at your front door, right?
Yes.
So what type of meetings or rallies do you believe y'all gonna hold this time around? Are y'all going to the courthouse? Are y'all going to the trials? What's the plan of action for you all?
Well, the plan of action A first, as you probably been noticed, I do a lot with the homeless. I do a lot of activities within in the inner city in our backyard. I do a lot of programs and I help a lot with just the city in and of itself because a lot of time when you see people have rallies and they do marches, you don't see a lot of participation because the activists are not well respected in the streets. So in order for you to have effective rally or an effective march, you have to be able to connect with those people. So what I have actually begun to do is let the people know who are around me that we have to form an alliance with the community and build their trust, and to let them know that you have a group of people who are out here who are willing to assist you, willing to aid you, and want to really, reach out to you and let you know that we care about poverty, we care about homelessness, we care about education. So now when these things occur, we don't really have to go in the streets and try to rally people together. We already have the people who are here and ready to roll. I don't know what I mean. I kind of been um, I participate a lot of time in the marches or rallies, but I don't like to get too much involved in them because sometimes we tend to lose focus and we just need, and then people just want to come and just, show for cameras and then, they're just off whenever the cameras leave. But that's something that we unfortunately got a lot of last year. People just wanting to come down and participate in rallies and then leave after the cameras leave. Um, so we just kind of like play it by ear, and we just kind of watch the climate and see what happens next, and then whatever steps we have to take, we take.
Well, I feel you 100%. That's why I kind of asked the question, because there's a lot of people last year with all these tragedies and things that was happening in the community looking for photo ops. So
Oh,
I'm glad you spoke on that. So one other thing I'm glad you spoke on is doing the activism when the camera's not around and when the hoopla is not around. Could you speak
mhm.
more on that? Because, like you said, I see the pictures, I see what you're doing. That's why I wanted you on here, because it's people
Mhm.
that's activating all over the country, but they don't understand what activism is. So, could you give us a nice layout of what you were just speaking about and how that is true activism and the love and the community sharing goes into being able to come together as one collective unit?
Yes, great. One thing that I always advise individuals whenever they call me for advice and just say, hey, maybe I want to start something where I'm at. I'm interested in doing something in the community, starting an organization. The first piece of advice I give them is that you have to do something in the community to benefit the community to get community support. Because a lot of times, as you see, people will call you and invite you to a meeting, and then you have 5 people show up in the meeting. You have 6 people show up in the meeting. And the meeting, and the meeting's just the same people time after time after time again. That means that these people are not in the community actually doing what they need to do to get the support. So what I decided to do was build the SCRBG organization almost in the same manner that Huey and Bobby built the Black Panther Party. Or Elijah Muhammad took to the streets and got the Nation of Islam. So we wanted to be community first. And then once we are able to attract the community to our endeavors and what we want to do, then we can begin to steamroll into other things. But first and foremost, the ground root are the basic foundation of what I wanted to establish was community support. So that's very essential. Community support. I say that's step one. Definitely step one.
So, in in taking these steps, what would be like one of the first things to do? Because we know our community have so many ills,
Mhm.
or not. What would be the first thing to do? But what was the first thing you did? Take us through the
And
process.
hey, and I am so glad you asked me that. The first thing that I did is when I decided that I was going in the community, the first thing I did was I took a grill, some food, some flyers, and just started. I went into the worst neighborhood in Charleston on the east side, downtown Charleston, and we turned around and we took that grill out there and we had a big old cookout and we had barbers to come and to give children free haircuts and give the homeless people free haircuts. So what you do is you start attracting all these people in the hood because brothers and sisters they gonna stop by. Hey peace brother, stand out with the signs. Black power. We out here, man. You just go out. Food attracts our people. So when you go out there and you start giving brothers and sisters free food, and then you got the barbers out there, if you got a little generator or you find a plug, man, get a homeless people free haircuts, get the children free haircuts, and during that time when you're doing all of that, sow seeds of black love. Use phrases like black power, power to the people, RBG. So we were just getting the community familiarized with who we are. And then from there, people started seeing us do this every single week. And with the consistency that we always showed, the people continue to gravitate towards us. And now, we have the Feed the People program, always out in the street with the homeless people. So it's I started off with the food and the grill and the haircuts. Just community got behind me.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect plan.
Oh
So
yeah.
so hopefully y'all taking notes out there, Chicago, Detroit, this, that, and the other. So let's speak on another big problem that's going on in the community right now. Flint, Michigan.
Mm, man.
What can you what can you say about that? Um how do this incident play out for our community? What is it that we should learn about how government, which is nothing but corporation, feel about
Yeah.
saving money and putting people's lives on the line like that?
Yes. And I can relate personally to what's going on in Flint, Michigan, because as you remember, South Carolina, we just had what they called the worst flood in like almost the last 100 years or whatever it was. But I mean, we were just totally underwater. But I was able, and a lot of us were able to get the community and people on Facebook friends behind us. They were sending nations. We were just driving around in the water, with the police saying don't do it. So what they're going through now in Flint, Michigan, it's just a testimony to the fact that we have to be able to do for self, and we have to be able to support self, because the government will continually let us down, and we know from experience. So it's good to see a lot of the love that Flint has been getting and the donations that have been pouring through. um, we in Charleston were able to send donations to Flint also. So it's good to see our people coming together in crises. But however, it seems like that's the only time we can come together.
I agree 100% because I was just watching my posts and stuff when I post this
Hmm.
up, and somebody said, "Hey brother, what do you have in common with Carl Albert?" Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, somebody, and it's like, well, we got the same skin tone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, brother asked me,
Uh,
what do I have in common with you?
yeah, I don't know if you seen the post or whatever. They posted on my thing. I don't know what,
Oh
but it was
no.
crazy. It is like, I've been telling people since 2012. I didn't dealt with RBG. It's just I wasn't giving the crowd like that because I was,
Yeah.
still on my Israel doctrine stuff and just Israelite thing. But I'm not
Hmm.
one to speak against, unity and dealing with the rest of the brethren and sister in the world.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think about that in our community right now? As you say, when tragedy go on, it's kind of like the black family as a whole. When it's funeral time, we can get together and get money to get together and come to the funeral, and then after that, we don't speak again to the next funeral. So, if you could, please speak on that, brother.
Yeah, it's been kind of disheartening that that does occur. Um, One thing that I always aspire to do when I have other people try to, follow the same, I would say, ideology, is if you can shut down your Facebook page tomorrow and still be active in your community, then that means you're on the road to success. Because a lot of times we have these Facebook warriors, and people just want to come and post and post and post, but they're not really actually doing anything beneficial for their front door, and the debating and the arguing and the fighting. And sometimes it's good to detach, and once you begin to detach and just get in the street, in the community, talk to the brothers and sisters. Me personally, I have kind of, I would say, detached myself from the conscious community, so to say, if you just want to use that word. Um, and it's because I feel so much love when I'm giving out blankets to homeless people, giving out food to, children, just, I just feel so much love and support when I'm out there doing that. And then I log into Facebook, and then next thing you know, here's 200 comments full of nothing but arguing and fussing. So what I do to just keep my sanity is stay in the community. So
Yeah, Yeah, I believe that's a that's a good thing to do, and it does take you away from Facebook and stuff. Um, so I mean, what else do you do, brother? I mean, we don't need to know your personal job, but what else do you do? You're an activist. I mean, you're a
Yeah.
lecturer.
So
You're
yeah, good question. Good question. Okay. So I did 8.5 years in federal prison. Um, 2001, I was a knucklehead, a hardhead. I started off when I got my Fed time. I was in federal prison in Williamsburg, South Carolina. I was in Edgefield, South Carolina. USP in Atlanta, Yazoo City, Mississippi. And while I was in prison, you know, a lot of times, like Malcolm X said, prison can be a womb or it can be a tomb. And what ended up happening is that I kind of like mirrored my prison experience to Malcolm X and his prison experience. And I decided after I was always a sharp brother, man, a young sharp brother. And I had an older brother pull me up and he said, you know what, brother? He said, all you have to do is take the energy that you put into doing wrong and the selling drugs and the carrying guns. And he said, if you sit down, youngster, and you start reading books and you start doing what you need to do, he said, I'm telling you, you can be an awesome brother. And the first book I read was The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. And that was like in 2001 when I started really studying. And I was probably like 21 years old, 20, 21 years old. But, my whole prison sentence, all I did was read, study, elevate my mind. I started honing my skills. I was a GED teacher after I talked to that brother, I went down to the education department in prison and I went and I started teaching the GED program and I was the law library clerk and I just went and just started devoting all my efforts into building myself up. And I always used to when I used to sit in my cell sometime and just look up and, when the lights was off, I said, when I get home, I want to be somebody that makes a large change in the community. And I was determined not to let prison get me down. There were some times at night I was depressed, but I said, you know what? When I get out of here, I'm going to make a change and I'm going to do something positive in the community. So a lot of the work that I do now is because I've done so much damage in Charleston and in the community that now I have to be a pillar in the community and go back and try to reverse a lot of the crazy stuff that I did and use it for good.
okay, okay. So like I said, you do lectures. What all do you
Yes.
do? I know you help the people in this hand on hand, but what are
Well,
you doing to help with the educational aspect of the
mm,
things of that nature and the historical teachings and stuff that our people need because they don't know the history about the people that came before us and the way they laid it down.
yes, definitely. Like I said, I taught GED for a while. Even on the street, not only in prison, but when I came home, I taught GED for a long time. History, I love teaching history. But to be honest with you, the thing that I love to teach more than anything is Microsoft Excel. That's kind of like weird, but like I'm an Excel guru. Anything with a spreadsheet that you just could ever imagine, I am 100% baller when it comes to Microsoft Office. And I love actually, and what I do is even where, when I'm at work and things like that, I love just to teach Microsoft Office. Anybody who has a business or who aspires to be, entrepreneur, these are things that it's imperative to learn because it makes your life so much easier when you're doing your financials and you're calculating and you learn this stuff. I love teaching history. Now, one thing that kind of maybe swayed me away from teaching history so much, and that's always been something that I love to do, is at a certain point in time, I felt like certain things that we were having these big discussions about, it wasn't relevant. And I think that we were spending too much time, fighting behind these things, and it kind of maybe was drawing us away from our goal. I mean, I love studying Nile Valley civilization. I love it. I love studying, the Hebraic traditions. I love studying everything. But sometimes we might get into little petty arguments and it just takes us away from the goal when we're trying to fight, white terrorism in our backyard. And, we're sitting here as brothers fighting about, foolishness, but then we got police brutality, you have miseducation,
Right.
all this
So
stuff going on.
let's just look at that though. What
Mm-hmm.
about the historical aspect of the activists in our community and what they did? Like I just asked you.
Mm.
I mean, just telling your story and giving your testimony is when I went out and tried to get the community involved, I brought a grill out and I brought haircuts.
Most
What was
definitely.
it, this is the thing that I believe our community really need to home in on. These
Mm-hmm.
are the things. Who was the activist, what they did, how did they get it started, what was COINTELPRO doing
Mm-hmm.
to marginalize what they was doing in the community, things of this nature. Is this not the historical aspect that we need to focus on more in
Oh,
2000?
definitely. I agree with you 1,000%. We definitely need to teach that also. That is of prime importance because how can we know where we're going without a roadmap to guide us? So history, and even like Elijah Muhammad said, out of all things to study history is the best to reward our research, right? So I'm not a Muslim, but just still, that is just we definitely do need to study the history. Um, I have a lot of good stories and things that are in my past that I use to help young children to not go down the same path that I went through. So that's history also, right? The history that we have individually that we,
Personal history.
you, yes, exactly. So that's a part of history also. Like, wouldn't you like to talk to yourself at 12 years old or 13 years old? Like, just imagine what type of difference would that make if you can look at yourself at 13 and say, hey, it's not a good idea to do this because this is what's going to happen. So that's how we look at the wisdom of the elders. Um, and also, one thing that I need to do that would actually help me and benefit me is try to get around more elders and just soak that wisdom up so that it can help me in the path that I'm trying to pursue now.
Most definitely. So man, RBG Nation. Give me your outlook on the nation and what's going on. I like I said, I've been pushing it a lot. 2016 RB.
Mm.
Um, what's your historical recollection of how the red, black, and green flag got started? Um, what the red and the black and the green stand for, and how it didn't evolved over the years to what we see now.
Woo, that's definitely an interesting topic, and it causes a lot of eyes and eyebrows to rise up when you start talking about the RBG movement. Because I mean, in all honesty, it has actually detoured in a sense from what the Honorable Marcus Garvey had envisioned. It seems as though some have just caught on as a fad because it's cool, right? It's just the in thing to do now, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. It seems as though a lot of people are taking it lightly. We have not studied Marcus Garvey as we should and understood Pan Africanism. And that is something that we definitely need to revisit in the RBG community and let the people know, hey, Marcus Garvey's ideology is one in which we try to, pattern ourselves by. And what that will do immediately is knock down some of the barriers of division. As with Ascari X um, oh man, and oh, what's the brother's name? Dan Prez.
Yeah,
Sorry, and that kind of started the revolutionary but gangster type of mentality. And some people don't realize that you have to turn the page or turn it off a little. Um, because sometimes what you see is people bringing in the gang mentality into the RBG movement, and they're not doing it with a pure heart. So now you have people just saying, revolutionary but gangster, but then you're not really trying to, change your level of thinking to pattern someone like Marcus Garvey, who was trying to, better his people. And that's an area of opportunity that we have in the RBG movement. A good thing, though, is it's growing exponentially. Hopefully, we can use that as a method to wake the people up and bring consciousness. Hey, I'm 35 years old. When I was 14, 15, we had the Black Power movement. We had the African medallions. It was cool to be. It was cool to be us. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure me and you around the same age, but it was, how with Africa Bambaataa and X Clan and yeah, so
Like the Power, Public Enemy, and all of that.
yeah,
And that era where that music was out there. Even Tupac came out. It was Panther Power before we knew it.
bingo.
And Tupacalypse Now speak a lot about what's going on today. Cops killing people, young ladies having babies, and from
Hmm.
all of that. So yeah, we lived in an era where it was more real, and we didn't have the Laffy Taffy and do the
Yeah, Nene and all that other stuff.
stuff. So, what kind of curriculum was things to read with you put on the RBG library list? Like, this is what you got to read when you coming in here. You got to know this type of.
hmm Definitely the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. That was a wonderful read. I definitely read that several times when I was incarcerated. I would definitely read the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. I'm an advocate of Yusuf bin Yaqanin, a lot of his books. John Henry Clark. I love Dr. Clark. You have brothers like Ashra Kwesi. You have Dr. Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power. I love his book, Falsification of African Consciousness. That was a good one that I would suggest. You have even Dr. Anthony Broader. You got the Broader Files, brothers starting off. The ISIS paper, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. That's a wonderful read. You have just books by Shakem and Diop. Civilization of Barbarism, that was a good one. Man, I can just, but my favorite though is Dr. Amos Wilson. I love his approach to black nationalism, economic, psychologically, socially, education wise, building institutions. So he's one that I would advocate reading, but definitely you got to start off with the philosophies and opinion of Marcus Garvey.
Okay, so let me ask you about Booker T. Washington. We actually had a sister on here that spoke about Booker T. in Africa and the making of a Pan-Africanist, and we know that he was pretty much a forerunner for Marcus Garvey, basically
Mm-hmm.
a blueprint for the brother. So, what you think of that individual? And what is your knowledge on Brother Booker T. Washington?
Well, Booker T, in my opinion, a lot of times, some people like to say he's a coon. He was like an integrationist, and he wanted us more so to fit into the profile of, I would say, like a W.E.B. Du Bois demonstration, the talented 10th, and the bourgeoisie. Um, you got to just take the good information that, he spewed and taught about, and just take it and kind of leave out what you feel was maybe more had the integrationist tone a little bit. That's kind of like my perception of all of them. Because even with Frederick Douglass, a lot of time a brother say, "Oh man, he married a white woman," "Oh, he got the girl." So everybody has these faults. My thing is, you got to really kind of take what you can and just kind of run with it. They left their mark in history. like W.E.B. Du Bois, the same thing. Oh, he's, a coon or whatever. You just kind of like take what you can from them and the message that they had, and you can also learn from their mistakes, right?
Right.
Because it's not all to bash them. Hey, you can say, man, he made a mistake, and I'm pretty sure if he was alive looking backwards, they'd say, even when he renewed, they just had an argument about how, he was kind of in a conundrum, it seemed, about homosexuality. He was like, well, homosexual, they might be like revolutionaries, and it wasn't that rampant back in his day. So all he could do is just think about it like, well, damn, would a homosexual be a good revolutionary? I don't know, maybe, so just take what you can from them, and we have to really continue to forge our own path.
Right. As you said, if we just do the historical look at ourselves and just our personal families, because we all then had the revolutionary Afro puff, Afro, stack wedding brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
coming up in our family, aunties and uncles and stuff. So
Mm.
let's speak on black family. I know you're
Okay.
a family man, so let's speak on black family and how we should deal with the family today, because it's a lot of things that's going on. It's still molestation going on in the households that people not talking about. It's a lot of abuse. It's a lot of neglect. It's a lot of people not cooking for their children, so they come
Mm.
be this and different stuff. So however you want to tackle the issue, the black family, and how we need to come together and take care of issues in the home.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up. I had a very interesting discussion. I know you might have saw my post on Facebook, but I had an interesting discussion with a sister today about criminal domestic violence. Domestic violence and how our community should handle issues of brothers putting their hands on sisters. And my thing, and we got kind of testy. We was going back and forth. Um, my thing is, I was just telling her now to sit. I don't want the sister to jump on me. Now they might, I don't know, but I'm gonna just tell her like how it is. My thing is this, we definitely need to put an end to it and help our sisters. But now I was telling the sister, queens have to realize also is that when brothers like me and you, if they call us and say, hey man, this guy just beat me up or whatever, when we come to help her, I got a family, you have a family, I haven't been to prison, I got charges. So if we go and run down on this guy and we potentially have to do something to him, if you come back to him 2, 3, 4 days later and y'all back together, you know, at what point in time do I say, you need to just leave that situation alone, or if not, then you just gonna maybe have to just learn the hard way, because you know, with all that being said, we are supposed to be protectors of our community, and we definitely need to look out for the black woman. Because I have a little daughter, 9, 10 years. She's gonna be 10 years old next month. And the thing is, when people get into these abusive relationships, we definitely need to assist them, and we need to help our sisters. But then the sisters need to realize too that when brothers jump out there and we putting ourselves on the line, I might be out. Me and you might go and beat this dude up. But what if we turn around and you with your daughter and you in the mall and you see this guy you just beat up, and then he pull out a gun on you and he try to shoot you?
Oh
So
yeah, well,
we.
it was a Facebook incident with some brother. I forget where it was. I didn't pay too much attention to it,
Uh-huh.
but he beat the sister up and she was pregnant. That may have birthed
Ooh.
the conversation that you was talking about. Yeah, she actually put up a picture and swollen face with the neck brace and stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we definitely situations like that, brothers need to be dealt with.
yeah.
And we are almost a miscarriage of justice for nobody to reach out and help that sister in the community. But then the sister would also, we need to be assured that you're not going to go back to this situation. If we provide help, now we need to make sure that you don't go back, because if I turn around and go run down on this guy and slap them or we choke them or something happen, we give them a nice beat down. Like, you can't just go back to this guy, and we've seen it too many times that this stuff happens. So we just need to make sure the community and our children and our women are secured at all times.
So now, what about Black City Sovereign? Now, my brother Reggie, I'm pretty cool with Reggie. He brought this plan
Okay.
up, and we've been talking about it. I talked about it with Jay Dizzle here on the platform the other day. Uh, Black City Sovereign, people migrating back to the South, buying up the land, and even the factories and stuff that's been abandoned, and they took the work overseas because it's cheaper and stuff. What do you think
Okay.
about that? And have you been thinking about it? And can you give us a little insight on it? What if someone came to your town? What do the population look like? What do the buildings look like? Even after the flood, I know a lot of people probably skedaddled after that. So what would it be like in Charleston to have brothers and sisters come in and change the whole political platform?
Well, one good thing about the city of North Charleston is we're majority black. So the city I'm in right now, we have all the essentials for a black takeover. It's just about the educating of the people to let them know that we have the ability to do it, and giving them that inspiration to get up and do it. Because I mean, it, it's just out here for the taking. I mean, that would be a wonderful thing to actually do. Um, and especially in the Charleston, North Charleston area, because this is a all black city, like it's majority black, and the gentrification process is well underway. That is something that we want everybody to be cognizant of, because it's slowly driving our people out. The flood didn't really do anything, man. Um, it This is still business as usual. It didn't really hurt anybody, except the homeless people. But that would be a great idea that you were actually talking on. And Charleston would actually be a great city for blacks to come and migrate, because it's historical. Like, you have all of these old historic houses from the slavery eras and the 1800s. And remember, this was like the major port for the slave trade. The whole city is just built upon the history of slavery and Africans coming over and building up this whole city. So now in downtown Charleston, you have all these houses that are historic, and the white people are coming in and they're fixing up these houses and just pushing the black people out. And next thing you know, you have these 3, 4, $5 million homes, and they bought them for $200,000, $300,000 and just renovated it. So if that idea was to be carried out, this would be one of the perfect cities to target. And anybody in real estate would have to agree.
Yeah, I mean that's why I brought it up, because we want to put it on the mind of the people more and more that's up in the
Mm,
New York areas, all up in the barrows and still in the projects and stuff. A
mm,
city like Chicago didn't toe down the projects and stuff, but
yeah,
we still got these major metropolis with all this, you know, living on top of each other like we're in a cell block or whatever. But
yeah,
the South needs to come back alive. We could plant gardens. We could do stuff. One thing that I also I like to push is civics. I think a lot of our people
mm,
don't understand civics. They don't understand politics in no shape, form,
mm,
or fashion. That's why we get the arguing and fighting and the bickering and the childness activity on Facebook, because it's like, man, we should be building. We should be trying to figure out how to put our money together, how to go out and help, how to do these things, how to come together and not have a crisis, as we was talking about. So, I mean, we got about 20 more minutes or 10 more minutes, I guess. I don't want to keep you too long, but I just wanted to, get an audience a chance to hear from you, speak to you, look you up, see what you're doing out there in Charleston. So if
yes, sir.
somebody passing through, they'll know who to talk to. They'll know a name to drop or something. So what else would you like to tell the people, you know, inform them of, advise them of, or whatever? You know, you got the platform, you got the flow now.
Yes, sir. Well, just kind of just kind of follow the situation that is going to be coming up with the Dylan Roof incident. There's going to be a lot of information that comes out. We know that he has an extensive history with white supremacists, especially in South Carolina. He was linked into a lot of them. Um, it's almost amazing that a young white boy would know almost more history than our own people by actually targeting that church and going in and just doing it in rebellion for, his so-called ancestors being plotted on by one of our freedom fighters. This should be definitely a wake-up call. Also, Spike Lee said in Chirac, he brought up, there was a good point that was brought up. I mean, we know about it, but a lot of people didn't know about it. But there was a recent incident at the college that was called the Citadel. The Citadel, they, during Christmas time, there's a military college here in Charleston, and they had on KKK robes and they were singing Christmas carols. And if you notice, Mother Emanuel Church is right across the street almost from the Citadel College. It's probably within a mile proximity. Now, the Citadel College, the military academy here in Charleston, was built as a fortress to actually stop Denmark Vesey because of his rebellion that he had. So the reason that military college sits right there across from Mother Emanuel, because they were monitoring the slaves, because the slaves used to always meet at Mother Emanuel Church for their rebellion. So after that happened, they ended up going and building the Citadel community, the Citadel College, the military academy. So, with that white boy actually knowing the history, it just kind of is shocking that, they sit back and they plot on this stuff and they actually think about this stuff that we don't even think about. And a lot of stuff is going to come out, and we've been hearing little leaks and things like that, but it just goes to show that we have to step our game up, because now if you have a white boy who just walks in a church and sits in there for a whole hour Bible study, he prayed with them, answered questions, sat in the Bible study for a whole hour, and waited till them brothers and sisters got on their knees to pray, and he pulled out a gun and started shooting all of them. And if that isn't a testament to the fact that we need to be more watchful over our communities, I don't know what else is more of a wake-up call than something like that. Because a lot of our people are still lost. We have aunts, uncles, mothers, and who in the church. And when you see stuff, and we have a lot of copycats out here now, so you never know when something like that will occur again. And that's why we really need to watch out and do what we need to do to protect our communities.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Race war. Do you really think they're trying to bring one about?
It's possible. It's possible, but they're not going to do it in the overt fashion that everybody just imagines or probably fantasizes about, like people just running out with guns. But the new race war is just going to be something covert, like how they're doing maybe in Flint, Michigan. It's like poison in the water. So they have gotten so smart and wickedly wise that they put these things together, and the war now is going to be more on an intellectual level versus what we think would just be an all-out gun battle with white folks. So I don't even think they're going to take that route. Even when we was at the Klan rally in July, the Klan, when I went, because I was probably one of the first ones to go on the Ku Klux Klan side with my bullhorn and start talking trash to KKK members. And if you notice, the KKK, the ones who were out there, they were those white boys and white women. They weren't the brightest people that, they just, monkey niggers and making noise and this and that. So, that's why we just started stomping on them, beating them up. But these are not these are real KKK members, but these are the ones that aren't really in power. They just represent the trash part of the community.
They're the
So
pawn.
exactly,
So
exactly.
let's put this on the table. This is something I've been talking about lately. Black liberation theology. Goddamn America, is Obama pastor said. Jeremiah, you're right.
Hmm.
Just really sparked the people and brought about everything we seen today, and they just didn't go all out because they didn't want to assassinate another president.
Uh, I think Obama, they wouldn't really need to really assassinate him because they pull his strings, right? So if I was a white supremacist in power, I would want to do all I can to deceive the people to make them think that they're winning when in actuality they're losing. So if I was real smart, I would say, you know what? Look at how America has changed, and I would throw out all of the little slick all lives matter and stuff like that because you essentially you want to dumb the people down. So if I'm trying to play a mind game on you, I'm gonna get Obama. I'm not gonna assassinate Obama because he's fitting into the role that we want him to play. And so now we can really bring this integrationist theory into play, but we still pulling the strings, but we got him out there as the puppet. So I think they will protect Obama more because they can just continue to feed the people the lies and the garbage versus assassinating them now. The
Yeah, I
people
was
gonna
just
start
saying,
with,
he had an 8-year tender, right? He did two
yeah,
terms, and a lot of the stuff that we seeing now, we didn't see the first term. It wasn't, they just had the Tea Party and they was talking crazy, walking around with the guns.
yeah,
And now,
yeah,
as it winding down, they don't have to worry about Obama getting out of line and saying, "Hey, y'all killing my people," because he's gonna be out of
yeah,
office. So it's kind of like, yeah, y'all, great shining hope is gonna be gone, and we about to go
yeah,
back to the old days, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's what it seemed like
yeah.
they saying to me. We finna go back to the old school, and y'all better learn y'all place. Y'all done got a little bold since we gave y'all the president, but you better, check yourself.
But I agree with you on that too, because that's a perspective that makes 100% sense. And then if you look at Donald Trump and you look at the rhetoric, every time he spews this rhetoric that you would think is just so unintelligent and just ignorant, his poll numbers just shoot up. And you have to ask yourself, like, man, how is it that he can just say some of the most I mean, this man literally just said the Mexicans are anchor babies, and the man poll numbers just shot up. Like,
Well,
so,
he's playing to a base that love it.
yes,
And even if them people not out there and they just using the propaganda, then somebody is pushing this propaganda machine the way they want it to go. And it's done away right now. So
yes, sir.
hopefully we can get together as a people and work on some of
Hmm.
these things. As you say, Black City Sovereign, Brother
I
Reggie,
like that.
it's a good plan too, but what you gonna do when you all in one place and they pour us in the water supply and do that in a tactical
Mm,
covert way? So
yeah,
we got a lot of plotting, planning, and strategizing and things that we need to do as a people. Um, but brother, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us and giving us some kind of idea what a black revolutionary activist RBG brother is all about. Because a lot of people don't get to hear and see one all the time. So
yes,
I
sir.
thank you for coming on. I
Oh,
thank
no
you.
problem, brother.
I thank you for just accepting it and with open arms and coming on and not saying, yeah, what do I have in common with this brother? We brothers. That's what we have in
Yeah.
common. And
Oh,
if we
yeah,
don't,
and
go ahead.
oh no, I said, and one thing about me, and I always pride myself on this, I'm an easy brother to get along with because I realize that it's a big picture that we need to focus on. And with the dissension and the discord that's going on amongst us, like how can I say that I want to go in my community and stop gang violence when I can't even bridge the gap with my own brother who I'm supposed to say is on a righteous level. So how does that look that I can't talk to you in a sensible manner and we can't have a great discussion, even if we have differences somewhere down the line? How can I effectively say that I'm gonna go out in the community and stop gang violence with some niggas who acting stupid when I can't even solve an issue with my own brother who's righteous just along with me?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's Pan Africanism, and most of them scream and cry Pan Africanism or fly the flag and don't understand that that's what it's about. The thing is, I
Yeah.
didn't want to bring you on here to argue about our ideologies and this and that. I wanted you to be a voice for the people, like I be seeing you being a voice for the people on Facebook, and allow people
Mm-hmm.
to understand that it is some brothers and sisters out here that is righteously trying to, you know, activate our community for the best and not for the worst.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And to be honest, I don't even know what you believe in, and I don't even know what you practice. All I know is every time I see you, and you always have something that's positive. So that's all I need to know. This brother, you're not my enemy. I don't even know what you believe in. I know it's something positive.
Yeah, and it's the same thing, because I heard you speak on one of your videos about the Israelite community and how some of them you would really like to deal with and talk to, but sometimes they just get so ignorant that it don't allow you to,
Oh man,
you know.
yeah. And you know what? Before I go, because I know you said you only got about 20 minutes,
No, I
but
mean I'm here as long as you want to be here, so
oh,
we
okay.
hang it out.
Yeah. The brothers in the video, I'm gonna have to go back, and I know you saw the video, and I don't really know what group they're in, but I heard they were what's GS something? I don't know, GMI, GSI,
GM,
GMS, something like. I think so. They wear the
well, you got
purple.
GMS, you got ISUPK,
No,
you
I know
got
it's not ISUPK.
Israel United in Christ. It might be GMS that you're talking about because they
I
like
think
the
so, but I'm gonna go back. We said they like the purple, right?
yeah. The purple. Oh no, that's Israel United in Christ.
Okay,
Uh
okay,
yeah,
okay. So I'm gonna go back on my Facebook page, and I think you saw the video, but I would like to have a conversation with one because I never saw those brothers again. But we was outside Mother Emanuel Church, and the Ku Klux Klan was preparing their rally right across the street. So me and a couple other brothers, we was walking down the street, and they had all the cameras. This was right after Dylan Roof happened, so all the cameras, everybody. So they was out there just talking, and I went in there and I said, "Peace, brothers." I said, "Man, do y'all brothers know that there's a Klan rally? They preparing the Klan rally that they had in Columbia." I said, "Man, the Klan is preparing to have a rally, and I just want to let y'all know." And the guys pulled me in there. They was like, "Man, you not my brother." And they just went on. And I got the video on Facebook. And I was really upset. And that was my first interaction with one of them. And I was upset because I said, "Man, like these people planning on killing us right behind us. And you pull me under this tent and you just start telling me that you not my brother. Like how that like come on, man. Like can't we just like put this aside for like 5 minutes and then we talk about what do we need to do to help out because Dylan Roof just killed these people and the Klan is having a rally right behind us." So
yeah. Well, that's why me myself, I've been trying to be a brother to a lot of brothers out here and letting them know that everyone don't of this faith or this belief or this culture or way of life or whatever is not like that.
okay.
It's crazy. I fight against my own quote unquote brethren because some of them just, as the book say, false prophets and different thing and misleading the people and people follow leaders. They follow leaders, whether they right or
Yes,
wrong,
sir.
to the gates of hell or to the whatever. And you know we got to keep closer check on those that's in our circles and in our organizations and flying the same banners that we fly. I don't fly that banner, but at the same time, I get put under that banner, so I have to speak out against it and stuff. And when I seen that, I thought that was just that's just a tragedy that brothers would do that.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Hopefully,
Yes, sir, brother.
hopefully in the years to come we can grow and get past those things. That's
Right.
probably even the reason whoever that was that asked that question, what do y'all got in common? we two brothers out here and trying to heal the community and do what we can for the community. You know, unfortunately, I'm not around a big population where I can really get it in. But you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm less than what it say 1,000 on the what they call it, the area code or whatever. What is it? Population.
Less than.
Population is less than it say 1,000, but it's less than 1,000 around here. You know,
Oh,
they
okay.
got these children and stuff still on they sensors and stuff, and they off at school, so they not really in the town, and you know, so
Yeah.
ain't
Okay.
that many people to really activate and do something with. You can just try to wake them up to certain things, but you really can't get a good group to go out and do something. And then we're in the South. You got
Yeah.
miles and miles before you get to the next town. It's not like the city where you like, well, let's go to the west side or let's go to the south side. And you're not there first. So I don't think a lot of people understand the South. They ain't been down here in a long time.
Yes,
But
sir.
brother, you know, I appreciate you. And hopefully, you know, right, we had to throw the fist up,
Yes,
people.
sir. Yes,
Fight.
sir. Yes, sir.
As long as we stay like this, we got got. We stay like this, we tight. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully this is a good olive branch to the communities that we come from and the ideologies and the different views that we come from. And with that said, we passed 9 o'clock. I would love to do it all night, but we can only talk
Yeah, we got
so much. And ain't nobody really called in. It's a Saturday night. I don't really know what's going on this Saturday night, but something got their attention.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, as long as we get, hey, we building. That's what matters, brother.
Oh yeah, it's archivable. They gonna come watch. You know,
Yes,
people
sir.
nosy. You know they gonna. Our people knows it. They just want to know what's going on. So gave a lot of information to chime into. So hopefully we can do it again. We can get some people together, get a little panel, and really talk about some of these things. Because I'm really, like I told everybody, I'm all black everything this year, pretty much.
Yeah,
When I was
that's
just
what's
starting the
up.
Bible and trying to deal with the white people and try to bring them to, a certain type of perspective from my point of view, they
Hmm.
brought up black. So I said, look, I don't really mix the two, but since y'all want me to, it's black liberation theology. Let's do it.
That's what's up.
You know, you're gonna liberate our people with this theology, and your oppressive theology is gonna get rolled over. Black Jesus, let's roll. You know.
Yes, sir.
So with that said, I
All
would say peace, brother, and
right, peace, fam.
we gonna keep in touch and stuff. You know, I got your number.
Yes, sir. I got your number. I got your number too. Yes, sir. I'm gonna lock you on in.
So with that said, I'm gonna say peace, love, and hair grease.
Yes, sir. Peace and power, family.
All right, peace.